Hey everybody, and welcome back. In today's video, I'm hoping to get the engine done, possibly get this into primer, maybe paint, get some painting done on the interior, put a few more dents in the body. So if you're interested in that, make sure you stick around. I'll be right back. Hello BSC family, and welcome back to the bench. So today, what I want to try and do is get a bunch more of this done, obviously. But I want to see if I can get some of the painting done in the interior and detail the dash. I want to try and get more painting done on this, finish off the distributor, get the wires done, paint up the exhaust, and start painting up all the other little parts that are going to go with the truck. You know, air cleaner, master cylinder, things like that, cross member, belts and pulleys, you know, all the like the starter, carburetor, all that stuff. So I want to try and get that done. I want to try and do some detail work inside here. But first, here's what I've been working on. Here's the back bumper. Let's see if it'll focus for you. So what I've done is I've tapered the back bumper, got rid of the bolts that were on the bumper itself, and I've started blending it into the actual fender to make it as one piece, right, all the way around. So I've done that. I've de-chromed the front grille, put the lower front valance on, which is in place of a bumper. They've deleted the bumper on the front, but I've started to fill that as well. So that's all pretty much done. I want to clean up these edges here around the grille and the fender a little bit. They're not too bad, but we'll see what I can do. I've also cut in the fender line at the bottom because it didn't have that on both sides. And then I've just deepened the grooves so far. So I think first things first, I'm going to mask this off, top and bottom, just so I don't get too much overspray. But I can respray it after again. And I want to get some primer on this front end here and clean that up some more. I think there's a few lines I got to clean up along here. I know there's supposed to be a mold line here, but I think I'm going to make it as a welded up seam and smoothed. So once I hit that with primer and I can see a little better. I think there's still, I can feel a little bit there, a little bit there. So I'll get that done. The underneath, I don't remember if I showed you or not in the last video, but I started painting the exhaust and stuff. I'm going to rust them up just a little bit. And I think that's almost all I'm going to do under here. I'm not going to go crazy underneath, like I said before. Started cleaning up the mirrors in between on the joint here where the mirror arm meets the mirror itself. It's actually quite thick and ugly, as you kind of see there. Like, it's really thick and ugly between the arm and the mirror, right? Like, it even sticks out a bit on this side. So I've been trying to clean that up. So I'll finish de-chroming and trimming and smoothing and sanding, and then I can paint them up, maybe body color, or maybe I'll paint them chrome again. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to get going on. I'm going to get a bunch of these parts painted up and do up this motor so this can get put in. The wheels are good. And then, oh, the hood. I got the hood in primer. I also have the hood scoop glued on. Now this is a high build primer, so there's still some sanding to do, but I got some filler work done along the edge here, both sides. And I'm going to see if I can get a little bit in here where it meets the hood up front. And then some sanding to finish smoothing some of this out between the color of the resin and the color of the plastic. It was getting hard to see what was smooth, what was flat, so I needed to do something. So I can see I got a little bit of work to do yet, and we'll get that done. But the hood is primed on top with a high build primer. And the filler work itself is not too bad. I see a little bit back here. And like I said, I got to do up in inside here. The filler work all along the outside, though, is pretty good. A little bit here needs to be done. And yeah, there's a couple little dings here. I don't know if that's from me or what, but we'll get that sanded out and smoothed out. And that's looking pretty good. So once I get some more done, probably the engine first, I'll come back and I'll show you where I'm at. Hey everybody. Okay, so as you can see by the bench, I've been busy. And well, I got quite a bit done. So I've painted things like the airbox, or like the heater core and fan motors, stuff like that. Things like radiator hose is painted. Painted the master cylinder. I'm going to drill some holes in here and run some tubing for the brake lines. Haven't done any more in the mirrors, but I have mixed up some of my own colors here, as you can see. Doing a couple things with that. Things like the air pump for the pollution control system, right? The what they call a alternator, we'll go with that. And then I painted up the radiator. Now it's not perfect, but hey, you're not really going to see much of it anyways, but the top is painted. I got to paint the rad cap, but I have put a overflow hose on, and the filler tank or overflow tank, I've got to paint the cap on that as well, and that'll go in the truck. I have bent up a fuel line, if you can see that. Bent it out of copper wire, and it's painted it with those colors, so it kind of looks like a fuel line. I forgot a piece, so I'm gonna have to paint this. It's a tranny cross member, so I'll have to put that, paint that, and then put that underneath, right? So that's not a big deal. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this air cleaner or not, so I haven't painted it yet, but we'll see. Now, as far as the engine, here's where I'm at with it. I painted the underneath, gloss tranny pan and gloss black flywheel cover, starter, fuel pump, drilled a hole in there for that fuel line, drilled a hole in the carburetor for the fuel line. Wires are done. Exhaust is done. I just got to rust them up a little bit and age them, belts are on, alternator, valve covers. I still got to paint the oil filter. I should have done that before the exhaust, but oh well, I'll get to it. Other than that, I think I'm going to put a little bit of black wash on when it's done and leave it as it is. I don't know, I may run a battery wire to the alternator, if it's even worth it. Not sure. The air pump, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I just may leave it, just for the fact that, well, none of the canisters are in underneath the hood and stuff like that for the pollution pump. I don't know, maybe use this as the alternator. It looks more like an alternator. And, I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure it out. Anyways, the underneath, I haven't changed anything under there. But I did finish up painting the dash. Now I got a few touches to do. I kind of screwed up a couple spots there in the gauges, but I got some wood grain on there, and I'm going to put some brown wash on it to make it just a little more texture, bring that texture out on it. But basically, this is pretty much done. And I cut the factory steering wheel off the steering column, 3D printed one. And this is what I 3D printed, the steering wheel. So I got to paint that up. This is the steering column off of the one that comes with the kit. So it had nothing on it. There's no floor shifter. So there's no shifters for this truck whatsoever. So I took a page out of Justin's book from J Hart Model Works. I actually watched it just the other day. He did, and I think it's almost the same steering wheel. He made his own little gear selector from a ball head pin. So I did pretty much the same thing. The signal light selector is just another piece of the pin cut off, but I use super glue to make kind of like a handle on it. So when I'll paint that black and everything, it'll look pretty good. So that's the steering column and the steering wheel. And once it's put in the dash, I think it'll look pretty good. You know, the gear selector I think is a little out of scale, but who cares? It's a Resto-mod custom, kind of thing. So maybe he put a bigger one on. Maybe I'll paint it pearl white or something. Who knows? As far as the interior panels, not perfect. That's pretty tiny lines. I'll try and touch it up a little more. But got the panels done. Again, I'll put the brown wash in there. Probably try to touch it up a little bit more. But I wanted something for the seats, so I used a gold and I dry brushed the piping on the seats, and almost made it look like gold thread that they used. And the embroidery on the seat. Can't really see it, but it's enough that it's there, but it doesn't overpower nothing. This is flat black. This here is the NATO black for the flooring, because it's more of a rubber floor. So there's that, and then we put dash in like so. There you go. So that's where we're at with that. And of course, I finished off the hood. So here's the hood. It's not, there's only one coat of clear on it because I'm going to do a few other things to this yet. So I only one coat of clear, so that's why there's still texture. But the underneath is glossy and stuff. I want to see about doing the framework under the hood. I may leave it like it's painted with the whole thing kind of thing. Hood scoop turned out pretty darn good. Noticed a couple flaws, but again, this is an older Resto-mod, so it's probably seen the street for quite a while, and it's been used and abused, and still getting used and abused. So that's the hood. The cab. So again, this only has one coat of clear until I'm done with it. This is the way it's looking so far. Now, I tried my best to get these stupid ghosted circles out of the grill. And if anybody knows a good way of getting rid of that, let me know. There's a big one here. There's a smaller one beside it. I got these ones a little better. There was one over here, but I don't think they were as bad as these two. I used the knife. I used, scribing tools and everything. But yeah, that ghost is still there. But anyway, so that's that. So I got this all painted. And I've got an idea of how I'm going to do the red with this truck. And you'll just have to wait till the next video to see that. But yeah, I still got to paint the interior, the flat black and stuff. And, things like that. Paint the chrome on the vent windows. That's how that's looking. I'm going to hand brush down under here with black. Get rid of that. You won't see any of this. So this is getting pretty close to doing the red and the chrome. And no, I don't use that bullshit crap bare metal foil. It's just not worth it. Not worth the hassle. But I got some rubber seals to do around the windows, because they use the rubber on these windows. the wipers and stuff. I'm doing stuff for the battery. I'm making battery posts or battery clamps right now. I'm in the middle of making them. And that there is just a small aluminum pipe. Smashed it flat, filed it, drilled a hole. I'm going to use a sewing pin. So I'll drill a hole in the top of the battery, cut this down to what I need it for length. And that'll go in there like so, if it will focus on it. All right. I know it's not perfect. I got to finish. I was filing underneath because the way they have it molded, there's a bit of a mold line underneath the head. So I need it to sit down a little tighter. And that'll go on top of the battery. All right, so I'll make 2 of them, detail the battery. And since it's a pipe, I can easily stick a wire in there and just crimp it a little bit with a pair of pliers. So I'll cut it off short, put a piece of wire in, crimp it. Looks like a battery cable, battery clamp, right? So I'm doing that, and yeah, that's where I'm at. Now, I'm going to check on the length of the video. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay, so I checked the length of what I've got for footage so far, so I'm going to leave you here with this. I haven't touched the box of it yet. That's next. But I'm going to leave you with this, so make sure you hit that subscribe button for me. Hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any videos. Give me a follow on my Instagram and my Facebook group. Links for them are down in the description. If you feel that you want to help out the channel in any way, I do have a link for my PayPal Me down in the description. Check that out if you want. If you want to see how I did that gear shift lever, I'll leave a link for J Hart Model Works down in the description for that video where he did it. I think it was his latest one, so go check that out. Give him a sub. Hit that bell for him so you don't miss out on his videos. Show him some love. So with all that being said, no matter what you're building, just do it your way. And until next time, later.